now that you understand kind of how advertising works and why it's so important, let's go into a little more granular on how you actually facilitate that transaction. So lead stage, there's two different stages, the lead stage and then the actual under contract process. So during the lead stage, number one, this entire checklist is based on number one. If number one doesn't happen, there's no rest of this. You can't do the rest of this if number one doesn't happen. Ads are seen, outreach is made, or client contacts us. So a client sees an ad, Facebook, billboard, Instagram, whatever. So they see an ad, they go, okay, I like that house, I think I'm interested in that. I'm going to call it. Okay, and that leads us to number two. They call you as the agent because your phone number is going to be the one on the ad, on the billboard, on the listing. So they're going to call you and you're going to take it from number two and you're going to take it all the way down to step 20. So number two, they call you and you connect with them. Okay, what do you need? What are you looking for? Showing or listing consultation is scheduled. So you schedule the showing, say, hey, Saturday, Friday, what works for you? Okay. Then you prepare for that showing, which is basically just calling the other agent saying, hey, I'd like to show your house on Friday. Okay, great. Maybe you'll print off some disclosures or something like that you'll bring with you to show that house. So that's number four. Showing houses. You're actually driving to the house, you're showing the client, you're talking with them, you're getting to know them, getting to know their wants, getting to know their needs. That's the showing portion. Now that might be one house, that might be 10 houses, that might be, I don't know. Depends on the buyer. I've had people buy first showing, I've had people take 20 or 30 showings to buy. But it all averages out to be probably about a 20% chance that a buyer will actually buy on a given showing. So once you show them houses, maybe the first round of showings they didn't find anything that was too interesting. So you'll keep number 6, you'll follow up, you'll nurture that client lead until they are ready, until there is something that they want. Sometimes there's just nothing on market. Like right now it's February of 2025 and there's like 2 houses available on market. So I've got a lot of buyers that I'm waiting for and I'm watching. If something comes up on market, I go, hey, it came up, let's go see it. And we go see it. And then that leads us to number 7. If you find what they're looking for, they are going to probably make an offer. Writing the offer or the listing agreement when they're ready to transact. So once you've got that offer written, which an offer probably takes, maybe like 30 minutes to write up. It's not that time consuming once you learn the contracts. And you submit that offer to the other agent if there's another agent, or you submit it to the seller, or however that deal particularly is structured. So once you've submitted the offer and they said, okay, we like that offer, we're under contract. Now you've got a buyer or a seller that's under contract. So number 9 is once you've got that contract, you send it to the title company, who is going to basically process that transfer for us. You send it to the buyer's lender. You send a copy to the buyer because they're going to want a copy of what they signed. And then you're going to organize the documents in .loop, which I'll show you in another video how to use .loop. That is our signature program on how we e-sign documents with clients. So once you've done number 9, number 10, you have the client make an earnest money deposit, which is basically like a little deposit that they put on the contract that says, yes, I'm going to follow through with this contract. I'm not going to break it. And usually that's about $500. So you'll have that client go to the title company, make that deposit via check or cash, and then you will get a receipt for it, and you will send it to the other agent if they need a receipt, and you will put it in the .loop. So once you've got the earnest money deposited, you will schedule the buyer's home inspections. So there's a couple different inspectors. You'll give them a call, say, hey, when are you available? We got a home inspection at 123 Main Street. Okay, let's do it on Wednesday. So you'll schedule that. The home inspector will come out and he will do his due diligence on the house, and he'll produce a report. And that leads us to number 12, which is where you're reviewing that report with the buyer. You're going over that report and you're finding out what's wrong with the house and if they're comfortable still proceeding with that purchase. So if they are comfortable with that, you'll continue with the purchase. If they're not comfortable, you will either renegotiate the price and terms, or you will leave the contract and go help that buyer find another house. So once the inspections are done, and the buyer's like, I'm good with this house, let's keep going. Ensure that the lender orders the home appraisal. A lot of being an agent is kind of shepherding others, poking them, saying, hey, do your job, order that appraisal, because we have a timeline we gotta be within. We got 25 days to order that appraisal, and that comes up fast, So you need to keep on that lender to, hey, order that appraisal. And then also another thing related to the lender is number 14. Make sure that they have all the necessary documents that they need. The buyer's W-2s, the buyer's bank statements, whatever they need. Just make sure, just keep on them. You don't really have to do anything necessarily. Just keep checking that they have what they need, because some lenders are excellent, like phenomenal, and they will be on it. They will be working with your buyer, hey, getting this. And some lenders, not so much. So you got to keep tabs on that. Number 15, once the appraiser has called you and scheduled a time, just like the home inspection, you're going to make sure that they can get in the house, giving them the lockbox code, or even meeting them and unlocking it, just depending on the situation there. So you're going to make sure that appraiser has access to that house. So once the appraisal is done, and they have basically said, okay, this house is worth $100,000. Sometimes with an appraisal, depending on the loan type, you will maybe need some kind of repairs. An outlet that needs changed out, a handrail that needs installed, a little bit of paint that needs done. If that is the case, you'll be on number 16, which is help get those repairs done. Basically call a handyman or a contractor and help work that repair. Usually they're pretty small. I've done a lot of them myself. Sometimes I just go out there and paint it myself. No big deal. So make sure those repairs get done. And if the appraisal comes in low, like let's say you've got $110,000 on the price, $100,000 on the appraisal, you've got to renegotiate again. You've got to figure that problem out. So if the buyer has extra cash, they can just bring cash and close that gap. If they don't, you can lower the price to that appraised value and reach a new agreement. So once the appraisal repairs are done, like let's say you fixed that outlet, you painted that little spot that they wanted, you're going to call the lender, hey lender, we did the repairs, go ahead and reorder that appraisal. So the appraiser will come back out and verify that you did what you said you did. And he'll say, okay, good. You did the painting, you did the outlet, we're good to go. So once that is done, they will say, yes, your appraisal is approved, and you can continue to move on in this list, which would be number 18. Again, working with other people. This is a career where you got to work with other people a lot. You're going to the title company and making sure that they have what they need. Make sure that they've got, they're on track to close. Make sure that the lender is on track to close. Just keep poking those other two. You're going to be working with title companies and lenders. Title companies and lenders are basically there's three people in a real estate transaction: the agents, the lender, and the title company. They work in tandem to get this deal done. If somebody's not doing their job, then the other two can't proceed. If the lender's not doing their job, the agent and the title company are stuck. If the title company's not doing their job, the lender and the agent are stuck. So you've got to keep everybody moving to closing. Once that's done and everybody's done their job during the contract, you will be clear to close, which is where you celebrate. You send the client the confetti emoji on text. We are clear to close. Woo! And then if there's any other issues, they would basically end up right here. If there's any last minute things that are unusual, you would put them right there. You'd handle that right there. Like I just had a deal. There was a lien, like a government lien on the property, and I had to basically call the government office and try to get that cleared up. And that's right here. You got to scramble at the end of closing to get anything final that needs done. So number 20 is setting up times with the title company. So you're calling the title company and saying, hey, what time can we close this? And then you'll set it with your buyer. Are you good with that time? Yes. Okay. and there will be an amount that that buyer needs to bring. Let's say it's $110,000, $555.10. It's going to be an exact specific number. And you tell the buyer, hey, go to your bank, get a cashier's check, which is certified money, for that exact amount, and bring it with you to closing. So you'll show up to closing and help them. You'll basically just sitting there at closing. You're really not doing anything. You're kind of just hanging out, moral support at the closing. So number 21 is the office's responsibility. Make sure that the file is near completion. All the documents, amendments, settlement statement, and title commitment are all in the dot loop that you have collected. All of those are documents that are related to steps 9 to 19. And you will basically just collect those as they come in and put them in the dot loop. Collect those and put them in the dot loop. And then we'll ensure that all those are there. So number 22, attend the closing. That is the fun part. You get to go to the closing with your buyer. You know, you've had a hard fought journey to get there, and you're sitting down with them, and it's a happy time. Everybody's ready to move in. It's wonderful. You always bring them a little thank you card with a gift card, copies of their contract, and just, you know, be there for moral support as they're closing that sale. It's a very emotional time for a lot of people because maybe this is their first home that they're buying. Maybe they're nervous. Maybe they're in a situation where they had to move. You know, it can be a stressful time. So just be there for them as they're closing. Be there even after they're closed, and just be kind of their resource and support. So number 23, once the closing is done, the office will ensure that the file is complete, and we will get you that check. So your file, remember this, as an agent, your file, which is in dot loop, needs to be complete. And I will show you the checklists of what different documents that you need to have from this process. Your file needs to be complete for you to get your closing check. So ensure that is complete. Write check to agent, and there you go. You've got your commission after that from this sale. So that's a wonderful time when you get your commission. So number 23, that is where you're basically done with the deal. But you're not fully done yet, because we go above and beyond here. We go above and beyond expectation and help them even after closing. So we help them turn on their utility service. If they don't know how to do that, we'll help them, give them phone numbers, call Liberty Gas, call Trenton Municipal, call Chillicothe Municipal, help them with that, because a lot of people don't know how to do that. So you're gonna guide them in turning on their utilities. And then 1 week after closing, you're gonna shoot them a text, hey, everything good? You know, get moved in, how are you liking your new place? That kind of thing. And then do that again 1 month, do that again 6 months. Just be there for them, you know? So that is the buyer transaction. That's it. I know that was a long video. That is what it would look like if you are helping a buyer, start to finish, from the advertisement that was posted online to the closing check. That's the entire process.